Vacation. It's something that we dream about as children, going to the beach, seeing the tidal pools, looking at the starfish, all those great things. Cruising up to Hawaii and hanging out on the warm beaches, seeing all the people working out, all the skinny and tight little hot bods running around, the tan bodies and everything. But have you ever wanted to go somewhere where it's a little bit off the beaten path? Maybe experience the outdoors. Everyone talks about Colorado, Utah. How about Maine? Have you ever thought about going to Maine? Have you ever thought about, hey, Maine, wow, Maine. When you think of Maine, what do you think of? First thing that comes to most people's mind, lobster. I like to say lobster like that because that's how they pronounce it up there. But anyhow, Maine is more than just lobster fishing. Maine is more than just fishing. It's more than just the typical Maine clam chowder. It has a lot to offer. Maine offers a lot. It has a lot more than just what everyone thinks. It's an outdoorsman's paradise. That's what I like to call it. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. It's feasible. It's easy to get to, and it's really, really cheap, I believe. The best way to travel to Maine, I think, is to drive. But air travel is also pretty easy too. According to Orbitz.com, it would cost about $300 per person round trip from anywhere in mid-America. I looked it up, and it was like from Nashville, Tennessee to Maine was about $300. For me to fly from where I live in Virginia, I live in the Newport News area, it cost me about $250 round trip to fly up to a place called Portland, Maine. Portland, Maine is one of the main airport hubs. It's really simple to get to. It's a small and easy airport, but I will say this, if you do decide to go to Maine, if you don't have a friend or a relative up in that area, you definitely need to rent a car because getting around Maine it requires a vehicle. Now driving around Maine, that's pretty much my way of getting up there. It can be gas is expensive, but I think it's the best way to travel Maine. Traveling around Maine in a car opens your avenues for a lot of different things. You can drive the coastline, or you can go inland and go see the mountains and all the great things that God has offered us. The beautiful mountains, the peaks, and everything like that. We'll talk about that here in a minute. Now, getting around, driving, it's the Northeast, and everybody knows that there's toll roads up there. So be prepared to have a couple of dollars, maybe $5 or $6 in your pocket, some ones. So when you're driving around, you can pay the toll roads. I don't mind paying a couple bucks here and there. Some people get a little upset, but I don't mind. It takes care of the roads. The roads are in really good shape up there. So it's well worth it, especially when you're driving along the coastline. You don't want to be sitting dodging potholes. You want to see the beauty and enjoy the views and enjoy the drive. Now, also getting around Maine, driving the main roads, they're really simple. You don't need a GPS. If you have one, it can be helpful. But just using a regular atlas is how I like to drive around up there. You get on a map, you point out a view, and you drive up there. The roads are real simple, they're easy to read, and I think it's user-friendly up there in Maine, and I don't think anyone's ever, at least I haven't experienced that in Virginia. But anyhow, it's really easy getting around. And you need to get off the beaten path, like everyone always says, what's his name, Rick Steves, off the beaten path. Maine is one of those places where I think everything is off the beaten path. Get away from the big cities of Portland and Augusta and cruise to the little towns and the little ski resorts and the little towns. They have much more to offer than what you really think. And yes, there is Walmart up there just in case you need to get the few supplies that you forgot before you left home. So that's no big deal. But definitely get off the beaten path. Go experience everything that Maine has to offer. What to see and do? That's my question. Wow, I'm going up to Maine. What is there to do in Maine? That's what my friends ask me. But summertime. Summertime in Maine is absolutely incredible. The weather is between 7 to 80 degrees. And to me, that opens your eyes to outdoors. Get outside. It's not 95 degrees like it is here in Virginia today, but it opens up a lot of things that you can do. And during the summertime, my favorite thing to do in Maine is backpacking, hiking. It's some of the hiking I think is some of the most incredible hiking I've ever seen in my entire life. I'm pretty much an avid hiker, also a pretty avid backpacker. So I think Maine is one of my favorite places to go to. I recently just came off of a 7-day backpack while I was up in Maine, and it was the most incredible thing I think I've ever done, especially this summer. I've hiked to the Appalachians in parts of Virginia. I've been through the Shenandoah. It's beautiful, but I think Maine is definitely the hot spot. If you're a hiker, you love to backpack, Maine's the place to go. We hiked about 35-40 miles. We went from Maine and all the way into New Hampshire and back into. So it was absolutely incredible. The views, wild raspberries. We stopped in a raspberry field and picked them. We stopped up in and we picked wild blueberries. If you ever had them, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's incredible. Now the mountain biking in Maine, I think compares to Utah, Colorado, Vancouver, Canada, Washington State, Oregon, Wyoming, even parts and places in Europe that I've been to, in Italy, Switzerland, Austria. I think the mountain biking in Maine is just as good. And Maine has a lot to offer. It has ski resorts, so you can take the bike up on top of the mountain and cruise down the mountain. I think there's about 5 or 6, if I'm not mistaken, that have great ski resort mountain biking. So it's well worth it. If you're a mountain biker, take your bike. Some websites that you can visit as a mountain biker is www.bikebackcountry.com. It offers so much information. It can give you everything that you need to know about mountain biking in Maine. Some of the things that you can use for backpacking, go to www.backpacker.com, go to the search feature, open up Maine, and it will open up thousands of trails of great hiking, backpacking trails, long trails, short trails, easy trails, hard trails, you name it, they got it. And also in there in Backpacker, it also shows a lot of stuff about rock climbing. If you're a rock climber, there's some trails in Maine. Now you'll have to get with an organization called Outward Bound, and they can take you up there. But they have what's called a V Ferrata, which is an amazing rock climb. If you're a rock climber, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There's only a few of them in the world, and it's a great thing to experience if you've ever done it. And if you've never experienced it, I think you should experience it also. Speaking of Outward Bound, you could go to outwardbound.org or .com, and they have trips up there in Maine too, where you can go, for example, sailing, backpacking. They offer it all too. Wintertime in Maine is absolutely beautiful. Now everybody knows, and if you don't know, I'm sorry, I'm going to tell you, the falls in the Northeast are the best in America. I've lived in Washington State, I've lived in Wyoming, I've lived in Utah, I've lived in Virginia where I live now. Falls in Virginia are very beautiful, but the falls up Northeast are absolutely incredible, and Maine is the place to be. Driving through the country roads and seeing all the beautiful colors and everything that it has to offer, the reds, the yellows, it's just absolutely incredible. I mean, it's like looking at a calendar. I mean, that's how beautiful it is. Postcard photos, it's so beautiful. The beautiful creeks with the leaves floating down. I mean, it's absolutely insane. I love it. It's beautiful. You got to see it. And until you go up there, I can't describe it to you anymore. Wintertime is to me is incredible. I've skied in Colorado, I've skied in Wyoming, I've skied Utah, I've skied up there in Washington State, Idaho, I've skied in different parts of New Mexico. I lived in Europe and I skied the Alps in Europe, skied Germany, Austria, and I believe Maine's mountains compare to all those mountains. I've never been to Vermont, so I can't really speak on Vermont, but I will say the mountains do compare to the mountains in Colorado, Utah, and the ski resorts of those areas. So the skiing and the snowboarding is absolutely incredible, and going up there is very, it's not too expensive. Go to www.visitmaine.com, open up the ski areas and the lodging, and you can get great plans. I found a place where you could get $750 for 4 days of skiing and lodging. I mean, that's incredible. You get to ski all day, and you get the lodge, plus you get breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I mean, you can't beat that, man. $750, come on. Who doesn't want to go on a ski trip and pay $750 for 4 days? This guy right here does. And most people do too. If you go to that website, open up the links in there. They can tell you if you're a snowboarder, if you want to go to a snowboard park, or if you're just a snow skier and you want to stay away from the snowboarders. It has many resorts that offer, and the snow in Maine is the best. It's a lot, it's powdery, it's beautiful, it's wonderful, and it's good. The state of Maine is not just a one-season place. It's more than just lobster and you know, springtime, or it's more than just summertime, it's more than just fall, it's more than just winter. It's all 4 seasons. Maine has everything that anybody could ever want that's an outdoors guy. Like I said earlier, the backpacking, the mountain biking, the snow skiing, the snowshoeing, the snowboarding, the snow skiing, everything. It's just absolutely wonderful. It's a great place to visit. It's family friendly. There's a lot of campgrounds. So, you know, Maine is a place to take your family. Maine is truly holds a really beautiful spot in my heart. And, you know, this fall, I'm taking my family up there again so we can see the wonderful fall foliage. And I hope to see everybody from my speech class following me up there, because Maine is the place to be. See you in Maine.